What's the good word, DKB here. So Jeremy Fowler just dropped some huge news for the New York Jets. He indicated that Derek Carr has a slight preference in signing with the Jets over the Saints, over the Panthers, and this couldn't be, a more happier day for me, right? We want to talk about Derek Carr this week at the Combine, having his second meeting with the Jets, having his second meeting with the Saints, who I thought potentially could be in the lead. They were willing to offer trade capital before. We heard all the reports about them ready to sign Derek Carr. Everybody's just kind of waiting on when he gives the green light. And then, of course, we had the Panthers that were in the fold with the Frank Reich connection. And then we kept hearing about 2 or 3 unknown teams that have been sniffing and poking around that might be, significant competitors in acquiring Derek Carr's services. But if this is true, this sets up a huge storyline and another opportunity for Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. But it is interesting, right? There's kind of like a Grim Reaper jacket hanging over this decision. And the Grim Reaper jacket is being worn by Woody Johnson. So particularly, I feel that Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, with all of the recent comments about Derek Carr that we've heard, they prefer Derek Carr. It seems like Woody Johnson may have a preference on Aaron Rodgers, just keep kind of being the flashy new toy. Think about finding like a Lamborghini, right, on like a used car sale lot. There's like 5,000 miles on it. Looks like there's no damages or anything. He wants to scoop that up. He thinks it's a bargain deal. Little does he know, there's some things that might not quite be right with it, or may not be a fit for his lifestyle, right? 4 kids, yada yada. You guys get the analogy. But not only is there that kind of distinction, will Woody Johnson allow us to choose Derek Carr over an Aaron Rodgers? You do have the recent reports from Aaron Rodgers' side that was saying it's either retirement or the New York Jets. And so it gives us the parallel of the 2021 draft, where we knew Trevor Lawrence was going to be off the board. The New York Jets essentially had their pick of any of the other quarterbacks out there at the time: Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, as some of the top guys that are out there. And we ended up going with Zach Wilson. And I won't say that he's a bust per se, and that he just never had talent. It's more so a situation where we never really had a good backup plan after Greg Knapp's passing. And so we were bound to fail, honestly, with Zach Wilson. And I would make the case that that's true with any of the other quarterbacks. Zach Wilson was going to need a lot of additional support that we didn't provide at the time. But all of that said, this is kind of the makings of the same situation, right? This time there's not a Trevor Lawrence in this scenario, but it's Aaron Rodgers or it's Derek Carr. And I have a feeling that Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh really want a brand new car at One Jets Drive. And this gives us not only short-term safety. If he balls out, we have long-term security. We're talking about the next 7 to 10 years with him being able to go out there and keep us in the playoffs, keep us in the hopefully Super Bowl championship contention talks. And so I couldn't be more excited. Now, what we're still ultimately waiting on, or at least potentially waiting on, is to see if Aaron Rodgers makes some kind of decision soon, especially with some of these reports coming out more and more, often about the interest between Derek Carr and the Jets and or other teams. So do the New York Jets, knowing that Derek Carr may choose them as his number one option, do we go out there and say, let's not waste this opportunity, let's go get the guy that the coaching staff and the front office wants and try to make it happen, assuming Woody Johnson gives his approval? Or do we end up needing to wait to hear what Aaron Rodgers wants to do, and therefore we're still kind of left, sitting on our thumbs? Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, obviously we've talked about this kind of ad nauseum. Aaron Rodgers gives us our best chance of the Super Bowl over these next 2 years. But I just feel there's so much more that you're getting with a Derek Carr. And to be honest, I don't even think anybody's seen the best version of a Derek Carr yet. You're talking about a guy that's had to make up for multiple, come from behind scores. You're talking about a guy that's had, one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Only 1 or 2 skill position players that may be potential Pro Bowl, potential All-Pro level talents. And we have a roster that's littered with guys who are either ready to overachieve, like a CJ or a Tyler Conklin, who had a historic season for the Jets, but hasn't necessarily lived up to maybe what they could have done. You're talking about a Garrett Wilson, up-and-comer, potential top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. You're talking Jeremy Ruckert, if you want to go back to tight end, who can make some noise. And then you're talking about an offensive line where we just got the report Dwayne Brown's coming back to the team, so maybe that indicates that the New York Jets are ready to make a move, especially considering Joe Douglas was saying, he hasn't really talked to him and all of these things about when he may be trying to return to the team or retire. And so we need to be all in on this. I would say go give Derek Carr his money now. I think what I heard was a 3-year deal for $113 million, which will put him at 9th in terms of quarterback contracts out there on an average annual value. So we'll see what happens there. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. It'll be. I think it's more of a win-win situation. We just want to know how many more moves can we make after we sign either one of these guys. With Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be a couple draft picks missing. Technically, we have more money. We talked about this on the Jets Flight Squad immediately in order to go out there and sign some guys. But with Derek Carr, you know what you're about to get into for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And so you can really kind of go out, lay a plan, continue to lay out this foundation, and it can't get any better than that. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are, and I'll catch you again. Peace.